Breaking news from the green. CPC Sawgrass, a Players Championship, a playoff, yes, between Rory McIlroy and JJ Spaun just now coming to an end. As Rory taps it in, he becomes the first European player to win the Players Championship multiple times. Of course, we got into the playoff between Spaun, who had never been in a playoff before, but Rory a little bit more experience now, 4-2 when it comes to those playoffs, and another win when it comes to one of the top players in the world. For all that, we got to bring in the guru of the greens, Doug Bell, tapping in with us. And, of course, if you think about it, Doug, yesterday, J.J. Spaun was maybe about 2 or 3 feet away from winning this thing with a birdie on 18, coming up short. And then we get to today. Maybe that momentum was there, but clearly not. A triple bogey there on 17. But your thoughts on Rory getting it done?
Well, I think it was obvious J.J. Spaun was a little out of his element and maybe a wee bit intimidated by the situation as they got ready to tee off today, and Rory busted a drive on the first hole of the par 5 16, 330 yards. And Brandon, he had a pitching wedge into that par 5. Now, the wind was about 20 miles an hour behind him, but that set the stage. JJ seemed a little nervous, a little off kilter as he blocked it out to the right. Couldn't get up and down out of the bunker in the first hole, then popped it in the water on the second hole of the island green. And that opened the door for Rory to win his second Players Championship in the last 6 years. So pretty impressive for Rory McIlroy, who now for the first time in his career has 2 victories on the PGA Tour before we flip the calendar to April. Think about that now. A lot's been said and made of Rory. He's had an interesting week, snatched the phone out of the hands of a young man who was a University of Texas golfer, then had some comments about the Champions Tour, that he'll never play in the Champions Tour, and that drew the ire of guys like Ernie Els or Bernard Langer. But even though he's a lightning rod, he focuses on the golf course, and I think this was a huge victory for one of the great players in the modern game, Rory McIlroy.
Obviously, the Players is one of those that we like to push forward 41 days out to Augusta. And, of course, world number 2, Rory, obviously putting himself in that position is maybe one of those front runners. But outside of that, the other guy who's world number 1, Scottie Scheffler, want to get to him. T20 and a 73 on Sunday. Your thoughts on where his game is right now after what we saw there at Sawgrass?
Well, Brandon, he's trending. He's getting closer, but for a guy who won 7 times a year ago and the gold medal and the FedEx Cup, and he's the dominant number 1 player, we expect more. But his game is rounding into form. He's just not putting well. And ironically, it was a year ago when Rory McIlroy convinced him at the Arnold Palmer Invitational to go to the mallet-headed putter. I wonder if Rory regrets that, right? Of course, he went on to have that incredible year. But the bottom line for Scottie Scheffler just simply needs to make more putts, and that's coming. Listen, Rory is celebrating a fast start to this 2025 PGA Tour season, and Scottie Scheffler is slowly getting into it, and he'll play once before the Masters, Scottie Scheffler, and I suspect that listen, he's not totally happy where his game is, but right now he's got to see some positives, and you want to be trending heading into Augusta, and Scottie Scheffler is clearly on the upswing, even though the putter right now is very cold.
By the way, you see it there, not the worst card, obviously, when it comes to this, but you want to play a little bit better. 1 birdie there on 11 for 1 over in that Sunday round when it comes to world number 1. And Doug, between these two, I mentioned it getting closer to Augusta. What do you need to see from these two the closer we get to maybe put themselves in the seat of winning one of those green jackets?
Well, for Rory, listen, I think he's emboldened. Again, first time he ever goes into Augusta with 2 wins under his belt on the PGA Tour. Beats back a terrific field at the signature event at Pebble Beach. Now wins the Players Championship. So I think he heads to Augusta, not with great expectations, but with ultra confidence. And I think he goes there hoping again to complete the career Grand Slam. Needs to get off to a fast start at Augusta, but his game is in a really good spot right now. And again, for Scottie Scheffler, we'll see him in Houston in a couple of weeks. That's a tournament he almost won a year ago. And the putter just needs to round into form, and it's getting there. But world number 1, Scottie Scheffler, Rory now world number 2, and let's not forget Xander Schauffele, world number 3. He's just getting his game back. Oh, Brandon, the Masters is going to be good, and it's just a few weeks away, my friend. We got to get there, you and me. Come on.
Well, you got to set it up. But real quick, give me your winner. Who you got? Real quick.
Well, it's awful early, and listen, it would be great if Rory completed the career Grand Slam. man, I don't know if he puts well enough on those greens at Augusta National, but I think a guy like Xander Schauffele, seriously, is just getting back into form. Remember now, doctors told him not to pick up a club for 4 or 5 weeks as that rib injury healed. So I think Xander Schauffele, listen, we're not hearing a lot about him right now, but I think his game is in a good spot. And again, we're about 3 to 4 weeks away from Augusta. Plenty of time for these top players to get ready for another green jacket run.
Rory, Scotty, and the X-Man, sign me up.
Yes.
I can't wait. Again, we are 41 days to that drive down to Augusta. As always, the Guru of the Greens, rocking the green too for us as well. Appreciate it, my friend. Hey, don't forget, when it comes to everything on the greens, we will have you covered. The 12th and 13th expanded coverage, and then 12 to 2, you can catch that streaming on Paramount Plus. Then 2 to 7, all day, every day, Augusta, Georgia on CBS and Paramount Plus.